with that in mind, what we cannot do is be a bit shit and a bit shoddy until the day V2 is retired, and the day V3 comes in, just suddenly expect us to be really cool and like serious and so on. So we need to transition into what is expected of the force for V3. And when I say what's expected, I mean by the owners of the city and by the staff of the city. They want to see V3 being a serious RP city. And with that in mind, you know, the force as well, a serious RP force. Now, I am the first to admit that, you know, yes, the way we do policing in V2 is sometimes quite serious, sometimes a bit of a laugh, but then sometimes there's this middle ground of like, it's quiet in the city, some people with body cams come in, it goes a bit chaotic, different content stories and paths and story arcs and stuff happen that aren't necessarily policing, but it's cool content and people want to be involved in that and groups follow each other around and stuff like that. But what I need to understand, and honestly there's no wrong answer to this, and your hand will either have to go up for A or go up for B. I need to understand who in this room wants to be a force where policing is fairly serious, and who doesn't, because they see it as a bit more fun. Alex can get his box out again in a minute. This is a little bit of a lighter one at the moment. What I want to know is what I want to know is like show of hands, and your hand will either be up or down. Show of hands if you believe you are committed and dedicated to spending the next, you know, couple of months with serious RP. If your hand is up, cool. If your hand is down, it's not a bad thing. If your hand is down, it means we lose. I don't want to say we lose the fun, but we lose the sort of comical aspects that happen on a regular basis. We lose the.
That's not working.
You know, still have a bit of a laugh and stuff like that. But if you're in the city for 6 hours, 5 hours, 45 minutes will be policing and incident reports and investigations and, you know, sentencing and actually being a police officer. So
it's the PD meeting.
Let me just quickly count some things. I'm not going to call anyone out. So 1, 2, 3,
oh shit! Sorry, Paul.
6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, and about 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe. I assume all the chiefs know about it. I'm assuming their hands are up, to be honest, regardless. So there's 4 or 5 in the room that sort of that isn't where they see themselves in 2 to 3 months' time. And honestly, like that, I've got no hard feelings with that. Like, and that also isn't walk out the room now, you're no longer an officer. It's you know, it's being open and being transparent and being honest and sort of just saying like, that's not where I want to take my RP moving forward. And if that's the case, cool. You know, in that case, you will have to look to transition out of police. Now, I'm not saying that it's today. I'm not saying it's next week. It's something for you guys to decide when you do it. But at the end of the meeting, we're going to talk about our next 2-week block in terms of training and development, and we're going to start stepping that up quite aggressively over the next couple of weeks. So it might get to a point where you feel within that, okay, now it is time for me to sort of, you know, hang up my cuffs, so to say, and go and do something else in the city. And honestly, if anybody does that, there's no hard feelings. And anybody that I've, you know, been close with over the last however long, then, you know, you'll still be a friend in the city, and I'll still appreciate the work you've done, and we all will. But the way we're taking V3 is literally, you know, it is more serious, as I say. And the ones that put their hand up, I'm really excited for you to come on this journey with us, and the staff are really excited. The higher ups are really excited for you to come on this journey with us, because the technology and stuff we have available to us is insane. It's really, really good. Okay, so on to the next point then. This week, and this is sort of related, I've had a lot, we've had a lot of complaints this week. I've had 11 today alone. And and when I say today, not about activity that happened today, but 11 people reaching out to me today. Now, don't get me wrong, some of them are a load of shite. Some of them are fucking. I was arrested and I was searched, and I don't think I should have been. I was only at the scene where 3 people were killed. It wasn't me. I shouldn't have been searched. Shit, mate. You shouldn't have been. You did it. You went gone, whatever. But the complaints I'm seeing, a lot of them are quite like. I had a video sent to me yesterday. Well, somebody was being sent down. An officer was dabbing in the cell next to him, and this is where we get to, like, if your hand has just been up, saying you're interested in serious policing and serious RP, you're not dabbing. If I'm really honest, the emote menu that we have available to us as an officer, you probably don't use it. I mean, you might use the cop one or the weight one, or you might use certain ones to sit or stand. And I do it myself because of where the V2 is at the moment. But, people shouldn't be dancing. People shouldn't be hugging. People shouldn't be fucking, I don't know, using the things that are in there. And I know that is sort of like sucking the fun out of it, but do that not around suspects. Do it when you're in a car with your mates. Do it when you've just crashed and it's a bit of a laugh or whatever, but don't do it in a cell when people are getting put down, because the complaints don't necessarily come to me. They go above me a lot of the time, and it just makes us look silly. And loads of people are saying in here, we don't want staff to come in. We don't want we don't want the staff to help us. Staff are helping because of the huge amount of complaints that are going directly to Terry that are just silly things like that. They're not even like bad policing. They're not even like that you don't know what to do. I've not had complaints that are like, I was sentenced incorrectly. I've not had complaints that were like my rights were read slightly wrong. They're just like, this person was fucking dancing. This person was fucking doing X, Y, and Z, and it's just a bit silly. Although I've had a number of complaints from in and outside of the force around like somewhat risky comments or risque comments in terms of like of a sexual nature. And I know we've spoken about this before, and people have different levels of humor, and some people have quite dark humor. Some people don't really, I don't mean in this room, but some people don't really have a sense of humor sometimes. Like, you've got to read the proverbial room, and you've got to know what's okay and what isn't okay. And there's just some things that don't belong in a city, really. You should just think carefully about, the things you're saying and the sort of the way you are communicating with people, irrespective of their gender, whether they're male, whether they're female, whether they're non-binary or whatever. Like, just be careful of how we speak to people and sort of the things that we say. And then the final point from me, and this isn't about a particular person, although it might sound like it is because of their because of their, I guess, the career they have that is supplementary to their officer career. When we have people who are fairly popular on the old yellow body cam on their chest, policing standards need to remain as per the city expect. Now, I know there are some individuals who body cam very well and have very, great followings and great numbers and stuff, but there was a situation where I believe we interviewed either a suspect or an officer for an internal issue. Don't know who, doesn't really matter. But as far as I'm aware, 8 officers, PCs, PCSOs were involved, like going down to the cells, taking statements, standing in the observation room, and it's not real. It shouldn't really be like that. I had video footage sent to me of like a situation where an officer was asking for help. They switched on a body cam, they had a look, and 6 or 7 officers were standing outside at the PD in a circle and chatting, really. And yeah, breaks and stuff are cool. I have no issue with that. But it just needs to be at the right time. And if officers are asking for help, support them or be on comms, whatever it may be. We just need to adhere to the standards that is expected in the city and expected by the force. And then the final note from me, which I've probably said 3 times now, is there was a situation numerous times this week and last week where myself, Alex mainly, and Toretta, well, more so than me, Toretta as well, have been going to certain locations and have been dealing drugs to assess, based on some information that was given to us as a complaint, to assess the response. Nobody's come to us. Now, there's then an answer to say, well, maybe pings are broken, maybe this, maybe that. But because of the because of the luxury of these nice body cams people wear and the ability for us to look through their eyes, when we do it, we have a look at what people can see, and we are seeing pings, we are seeing drugs pings, we're seeing shots fired pings. I even heard one of the helpers from staff team turn around on radio and say, "Can somebody please?" What was that? Oh, Tim. I even heard one of the helpers from staff turn around and say, "Can somebody please go and check that drugs ping out?" And it just got ignored because it was up in Palito. Now, it was Toretta. Toretta sold 200 drugs, and every single second civilian that came to me shot dead in the head. Nobody came to check it out because it was in Palito. When that was happening on people's body cams, there was just like a bit of a circus happening. It was just like a bit of a comical sort of soap opera, really. It wasn't like policing. It's important that we prioritise policing, and it's important that we actually be police. Otherwise, more help's going to be needed. More staff are going to get involved. Quick fire recruitment's going to happen. We just need to make sure that the 60 or 70 officers we have are, have intention of actually being in the police. And that hands me over to Alex.
Cool. Right. So I'm going to do it again this week. Before I do it, I mean, some of you might be able to see the box. I personally can't see the box, but the box is there. As Paul said, the complaints that we're getting and the amount of earaches that I'm getting from so many different angles, so many different members of staff and members of PD is a joke. I'm going to try not to swear, but it's going to be hard. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke at the moment. So, as Paul said, we are taking this seriously. And if you're not willing to be a serious job,
good, it works.
Please come and put your badge into the box.
Just checking the box.
And we will allow you to leave. Any takers? Go once. Going twice. Ding ding. No winners. Shit.
Don't really think it's that straightforward, Alex, if I'm being honest, bro.
What's that, Nigel?
I didn't even realise Nigel was sitting there.
Yeah, no, I'm sitting here. I've as I've made quite clear in the higher up chat today, and I've been speaking to Paul behind the scenes about this. I don't really think it's as clear cut saying if you want to take it seriously, stay. If you don't, or want to have a bit of fun, then hand your badge. Like, let's be honest, we'll get up to some weird shit because, for want of a better word, in the times during the day, there's fuck all to do. So occasionally we do stuff like that. I'll be honest, Alex, you do stuff like that. I do stuff like that. We've all done stuff like that. The city at the moment is in a weird place where it's, Paul knows, I've spoken to him about this, and it's also what I mentioned in high ups. There's a weird hybrid thing going on in the city where it's like, hey, everyone's fine to fuck about, but then occasionally there's some shit that's cracked down on like hellfire for no reason at all. I've had that. Other people have had that. It's not as straightforward as saying, hey, if you want to take it seriously, fine, but if you don't hand your badge in,
Okay.
I think it's a bit of a get out of jail free card, if I'm being honest, mate.
All right, I'll be straight up honest here. Toretta and Paul come back this. We have been told by Snoopy and Terry this police force needs to sort its shit out. We have been told this by people much higher than us that this police force is not good enough. We get too many complaints that go directly to Terry, to all of us, that we are not taking this seriously, and it makes this city look shit. Hence why it has been cracked down on. So, I appreciate your point, Nigel. But if people aren't willing to take it seriously and do this seriously, they won't have a job in 331. And to be honest, I'm not dealing with the complaints of, oh, he dabbed while he sent me down and that. No, you either take it seriously or you don't do it.
I don't disagree on that.
Stance that we've got to take.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying that we shouldn't in future,
Maybe that one.
especially when the architecture's moved up. I'm not saying we shouldn't take it seriously then. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm saying that right now, at the very moment in time, if there's complaints coming in that are going higher up. I get that, but every single one of us has done some stupid shit while we've been on shift. Every one of us. And I fair enough, you can label it at me all you want for being a body camera and doing that sort of shit. I have to do that sort of shit, and you know it. It puts me in a really difficult situation, I'll be honest, mate, because serious policing is something I want to do, and I'm more than happy to get involved with that. But when all the signs are coming from the city and some of the people within it, that it's not 100% serious, and you can have a bit of a laugh, but then the second we do that, we're fucked.
And I think it's about finding that balance, and I think I think for me, I was going to say that as you said it, and I'm glad you said like you know you have to do that. For me, the order of priority is what we need people to do in the police is put the force first, the city second, and their content third. Now that doesn't mean your content is we expect your content to be shit. But for example, you put the city first by not breaking rules every day. Yeah, you put the city first by not running up to people and being racist, and I mean that's just humanity first. But, you know what I mean? That you know, but I'm saying that to make you aware that isn't a step change in terms of like, oh my god, I've suddenly got to put my stream last. And this isn't to Nigel. This is to anyone who wants to create content. It ultimately needs to be you can create content however you want, as long as the rules, needs, and principles of the police force are followed. And then the rules, needs, and principles of the city are followed, and then you can pretty much do whatever you want. Now, there was an incident yesterday, or the day before, or whatever, a particular incident where you did, probably worth addressing the elephant in the room. You did something that was deemed content made harder because somebody in your body cam suggests you do it, somebody who is a very, very senior staff member within the city. You did it and have since been punished in a PD manner for doing it. Now, we had a similar one, me and you, where the owners of the city turned around to us and said, kill the fuck and we'll give you a free Patreon car.
Yep.
And we did.
I shot him in the face.
Yeah, and we did, and we had Bobby Smoker and everyone down us. We thought, honestly, for 6 hours, we thought we were getting sacked. Like we got caught basically. It ended up with all sorts, but I think you've got to take doing those things isn't risk free and punishment free.
No, it's not. I'm not saying it is. My issue is, and you know this, my issue is being held to a completely different standard because I have to stream it. This is a huge problem. I said to you in higher ups, I'm sick to shit of people saying, oh, I've got body cams and I can prove that this happened. Fuck that. If you don't see it in the city, it didn't happen. And it's pissing me off.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I get where you're coming from. Just to clarify a point for everybody, because there's been a few times when, and I'm not speaking about tickets or anything before it sounds like that, but there's been a few times like we as Gov have been told you can't use a body cam to prove I rule breaked. It's meta. Gov are exempt from meta if it's a rule break. If you're bullying somebody. But this,
I get that.
This scenario, I was saying it on a different. This is a bit of a tangent, but the scenario you're talking about wasn't a Gov rule break. So I
don't want to butt in on this, but I checked this after. So to clarify this, and if I do dip in and out of being incorrect, I do apologise. I went and spoke to people above me in governments and said, with regards to using body cams from the police, can we do it? Now, what they said is, all police, as you can see on the front of your vest, Nigel, and everyone in it, have a police-issued body cam on there, which would be uploaded as they come back and go off shift. So technically, we would definitely have that footage from your police body cam, unless it has been switched off by yourself, which, of course, we'd see because the body cam is turned off. What they have said is we can use the stuff in city that your character is doing. Anything that's happened in your stream, so the reason you've shot someone's tires out, for example, cannot be used. But the fact that your character has shot someone's tires can be used. In this instance, it won't be, because no one was aware of that. But going forward, I understand that people body cam, and it will be discussed in a staff meeting, but that is the ruling at the moment.
And those people that don't body cam, that basically are held to a completely different standard because they either can't take clips or don't stream it.
But they're not held to a different standard.
Well,
I'm not held to a different standard.
No, Nigel. The people that are making content then, such as yourself, think of ways to get around the body cam situation. Think of, I don't know, like your body cam malfunctions. Turn it off yourself, and then think of a really good story that is malfunction. The other stuff you did, like break their body cam, take the SD card. There needs to be more to it than just shoot the tire behind them body cam.
Can I just ask a question? Because I'm a bit confused a little bit. So if Nigel was to say, drops body cam, if he was to do what I've just done there, if that's just worked, drop body cam down grid by mistake, and then shoot a tire, would his body cam footage be inaccessible?
But his body cam's not on.
No, you can't. You can't necessarily ask someone to turn their stream off to physically say that it's off. Like I personally record everything.
I do things.
Right.
In the PD.
I spoke to. Oh wait, am I speaking? Actually?
Yeah, we hear you.
You are. Sorry, before you do cam, from a goal perspective, I just want to understand. In that scenario, his body cam's gone down the grid, and he's then moved 50 meters away from said grid and shot a tire. Would his body cam footage then be inaccessible in terms of whilst it was down the grid?
Are you asking if police can access it still?
No, I mean the police can't access something that happened 50 meters away.
He does not have his body cam on, and we won't get that body cam back.
Well, right. So if we're going in this scenario where he's dropped it on a grid, there's no way that Nigel could alter his vest where his body cam is gone. So us going, where's your body cam gone? You can't use it because we can't do anything about that. That doesn't mean that it's a free pass for everyone to go, oh no, my body cam is now down a grid, therefore we can't use anything you do. But
I mean, but it sort of does. It sort of is a free. I mean, from an RP perspective, it sort of is a free
what
pass.
I'm saying is, I've got my body cam. Yeah, I can't remove that from my chest.
What I am saying, I'm saying is, for example, and you can't use this anyway, but if I was to take Paul and kill him, right? Before I even thought about taking him, I just turned my body cam off. And I've done that in the past. Just turn my body cam off, then I know it can be used and it can't be used. If you're going to do corrupt shit that breaks the rules, fine. Yeah, but smartly.
In an investigation, that would come back as what, you know, your body cam was off for 11 minutes, and in that 11-minute period, Paul was killed. We are therefore somewhat suspicious. You know, from a policing perspective, wouldn't it? Like, you know, if your body cam just was interrupted for 11 minutes in the time period where a body was discovered or something, there'd be some suspicion. But I guess from an RP perspective, what I'm hearing is if you fall over and accidentally smash your body cam before you do something corrupt, then that footage, it's no longer recording footage.
The problem is, with going over, if your body cam breaks, you'll be exempt. To me, that just sounds like you're giving everyone's got a free pass to. I know I really shouldn't be like picking sides, but the thing I find difficult is I don't body cam. Right.
So I'm instantly immune from anybody discovering my footage.
Yeah, and if they use somebody else's stream, that's their meta, isn't it? So
for now, we won't use your body cams. We'll discuss it with the higher powers that be and see what they say. That's fine. I have already spoken to one above me. We'll speak to them all and we'll let them decide. But if we're not using
Alex,
them, it comes
let me
back
say, mate,
to...
I respect you, but this isn't me versus you. It's a real sticking point, and it feels shit house.
No, I fully understand
right.
that.
Now, what I said to you, Nigel, about other types of evidence and other things that could have been done is still exempt here. We can still, not exempt. It's still probable that we would have found if it was given. If it was gone to us, right, and someone said, and the person who came towards, he gave the initial report and said this, we would have gone to DVLA, gone that there's a car's been shot. What's the test route? There's cameras on the route. It's on the road. There's a lot of stuff that would have pointed to a potential of something's happening in this area. So
you'd have had to preempt a lot of hypothetical stuff.
Yeah, to jump in there, you'd have had to have. It was because you had body cam footage, you were able to retrospectively patch together RP to make somebody guilty effectively. Like if Nigel's body cam wasn't on, and me and him stood side by side, and one of us discharged our gun into somebody's tire. There's no physical mechanic right now that allows you to test whether it's my gun or his gun.
So, but in that case,
GSR test, wouldn't you?
In that case,
not if we then went and stood in the fountain and washed it off.
In that case, you're in a situation where it's they said this, he said that,
and that's RP.
And you'll both be suspended.
But then at that point,
suspended for what?
And for a proper investigation, so we figure out what went on.
At that point, no, that's just us picking sides in that investigation.
Yeah, no, I understand.
What is RP, Nigel? Would be me getting the street cameras, downloading your body cam, which is what a police investigation would do. Now, I said it in that situation to you in RP that I would use the body cam on your chest to do that. I didn't mean I was going to use your eyes. because I hadn't clarified that. The first thing I did was gone and checked it.
Right, but everyone in the city knows that if you mention body cam, you're talking about our stream or clips. Like, we know that.
Yeah, I think some of the lingo does
It's a
need to
thing.
change because the officers do wear body
At the
cams.
moment, this is going to
Thing
go around in
is, we're
circles.
going around, thank you. I was about to say the same fucking thing. Can we move on, guys? This is my last day for 2 weeks. I don't want to listen to this shit. Let's go on with the meeting so I can actually go.
It's pretty fucking
arrest
important,
them
mate. Like,
criminals.
for some of
Yeah,
us that are
it
in
is,
here trying to
Nigel.
serve.
And as we've said, it will be discussed. We'll get to it. It's not all about you, unfortunately. We'll get
I'm not-
there and we're moving
Mate,
on.
talking about
Thank
so
you.
long he's growing a fucking beard, look.
Yeah, don't worry about the beard. Yeah, I'll take it off just for
Right,
you.
we'll put a
I
line
forgot
on
even
it.
had it
It
on.
will be discussed
Right,
by
wrong
the
one.
higher powers that be.
There you go.
What the situation is going forward on that. Did I have any more points? Yeah. So the only other point I've got is from our wonderful Auntie Terry and Uncle Snoop. They are aware that some of you and all of us are having troubles with the general public. Respect goes both ways, so you're still expected to give them respect, and they are actively looking out for where people are just being damn right out of order and shouldn't be doing that. If you do have an incident with that, please come to one of the staff team and we will deal with it in a promptu manner to make sure that it's not edging on the side of bullying police rather than in RP. That's all I've got to say.
Cool. Let me just recall the rest of the agenda. I've mentioned that, okay. Anybody being an out-and-out arsehole to the police, arrest them for disturbing the peace. If they keep doing it, it will be classed as baiting. Anybody going over the top, getting super personal with you, raise tickets, it'll be sorted. That's been mentioned. That has been mentioned. Okay. Sorry, I'm just catching up with this agenda. Okay, so Sadie, you've got a point around fines, jail time, community service.
Exactly. So during the last week, literally every single day, I got at least one complaint of someone sentencing someone wrongly, either because they didn't know better or because it was apparently an accident. And that needs to change immediately. You've all got a document, and when you're down in the cells and sentencing someone, take time. Take your time to find the correct sentence. No more typos. No more giving someone 20 years instead of 5. Also, no more giving someone ComServe when they've murdered someone. Just use your document. There's a line for every single thing that can be sentenced. Just use what you've got there and take your time to do so. If there's a blank space in your document, for example, for jail time or community service, that does not mean that you can make up some numbers.
Crazy,
that
that.
there is none. There's also something in green and in red in your document. It's the leniency. So whenever there's something red, do not change the sentencing. That's basically what it means. When there's something green, there might be the possibility to change something. However, this needs to be authorized by a chief. If there's no chief on duty, that does not make you a chief. It just means that this can't be authorized.
Does anybody currently here, and it's okay, no wrong answer, to training problem from us, not from you, if anyone's hands go up now. Is anybody here? Raise your hand if you don't know where to find the jail sentence list outside of city in terms of how long, fines, that sort of thing. Cool. Everybody knows, so therefore it will be accurate. That's cool. Leniency, as Sadie mentioned, you cannot apply leniency without a chief authorizing it. 99.99. I've never applied leniency ever, so just don't really need to do it. Radio, Barnaby, a couple points.
Hello. Yeah. So radio, just don't chat shit on the radio.
Yeah, voice box is a bit dodgy, don't look at you.
You sound like
I'll do it.
Oh.
Don't worry.
you are older than
Oh
me.
no.
You sound like you're in a flipping airport, mate. With a
I will do it. Don't worry. So, reminder of some of the basics. Radio. There's been a lot of shit talk recently on radio.
We have to reset from radio, so you look shit.
Well, what?
Your voice went that the city had a great fault.
Okay, so radio, everyone just not chatting too much shit on there. I know I'm probably one of the worst at it, but let's just keep radio clear. Only talk really when we need to about a particular incident, investigation, arrest, whatever it might be. Banks, what hasn't been happening recently is one at the door, one ARU at the door, relaying info on shout. not on radio, while somebody else is within distance on radio, confirming everything they're hearing to the rest of the force. We need to be on dispatch 2, which has been really good recently. I've noticed a lot of people suggesting we need to be on dispatch 2. Let's get back to dispatch 1. That's been really good. A big point here, we do not negotiate for, swaps, releases. We do not trade. If somebody's got a PD member hostage, they've got a PD member hostage. We don't do anything about it. T-Pack, assuming Barnaby's voice is still broken, we need to start using the correct
I think I'm back.
T-Pack is an overall grouping for different types of pursue skills. A T-Pack isn't a maneuver. A box is a maneuver. Tactical contact's a maneuver. T-Pack just means all of those things together. What else does this say? AI, yeah, okay. Right, okay. Couple of ARU points. Joe, do you want to go through them?
Yeah, can do. Just a small one. Just need to keep it more professional out in the public. We've had a lot of complaints about people pissing about, and it just needs to stop.
Bum
Also,
bum
make sure
bum
riding
bum
impairs
bum
by
bum
themselves.
Oh, there we go.
If you're by yourself, just ask on radio.
What is going on?
Sure that.
Hi, Joe.
Right, Paul.
Okay, remember, we ride in pairs as default. I've seen a couple of people say riding solo in chases. They were leading chases as well. That means you cannot shoot if necessary. It means you're at risk of becoming a hostage. In terms of uniforms, there's a point, say, you raised here. Uniforms are slipping. Uniforms need to be as per the uniforms that are inside the email channels. Everybody should be wearing the same uniforms depending on roles and depending on the gender based on what uniform is available.
So much feedback.
And on a final note, and then I'll pass to Callum to talk a little bit more about this, but
what is going
comms
on?
have improved really well over the last week or so. I think state codes have been being used really well, which is one of Callum's objectives.
That's me. Is that my...
That's your sort of...
okay. Hint. All right. Yeah. Yeah, obviously, since me spitting my dummy out and having a little paddy and screaming and shouting, saying that everything needs to change, the comms have had a vast improvement. There's not a lot... I know what I'm going to get as soon as I say it, but I haven't heard a lot of 10-4s, so if these are dying out and we're using more of the correct terminology, everyone should have access to the document, everyone should have seen it. Some people body cam with it on, some people don't, some people are using it. You can hear it over radio, and it's good to see that we're moving in the direction of the correct terminology on radio. So that's a massive win for me. It shows that when people are saying that it couldn't be done, it's showing that with a little bit of pushing and shoving and a little bit of tears, it can be done, which is the biggest thing. Obviously, we'll be trying to implement some more new things to get us rolling. Paul spoke about it, briefly at the start, that things are moving into the more professional side and things that are going to be adhering to the next structure of the architectural design of the city. I'll be putting it forward to the higher ups, and we'll be having a word and seeing what the next phase is. Just in case of that, what we are expecting really is that we go into what we're in now in this state of the city, and we all jump into the next state, and I'm expecting everybody to know what they're doing and that they haven't practiced it beforehand, because then it would be literally no fair on anyone else that we're not rowing in the same direction. I'll be just expecting it, when in reality we're to work as a team and as a police force and a family, that we're all rowing in the same direction and we're all moving together. Obviously, there is a discrepancy of where we're going and what the standards may be. My standards are obviously super high. Other people's are going to be a little bit lower, but there's going to be that middle ground of what I expect and what other higher ups and what we expect from you. And if anyone's struggling with it, come to see us, come to speak to us, and we'll help you guide through it. And there is no shame in putting your hand up and speaking to one of us and go, I'm not too sure if I'm doing this right. Can I have a little bit of help? Can someone sit in and make me sure it? Can someone be my guidance? And can someone help me conform? Instead of no one saying anything, no one putting their hands up, and it not being passed on, and it looks like you're doing a shoddy job, when in reality you're just a bit too scared to come up and admit to it. But yeah, on a good note, it's a positive. There's a little bit of this meeting is a little bit of a finger wag. It's a little bit of a shouting match, and people obviously there's a lot of things that have been going on, and I just here to reiterate the points that you are all police officers in the city. You're all officers, and you all conform by it. And I've stressed to every officer that I've spoke to that I don't, and I've said it to higher ups here that my strictness level of people that are caught messing about.
Yo, can you hear me?
Over high ups, I'm sure Hall,
With
any
no
other high ups
feedback.
here can say that if it's
Hello?
spotted and
Hey?
it comes to us
Hey?
and we see it,
Can
there'll
you?
be consequences
Do I
for it.
sound
And that's as simple as it's
I'm
going to
like a
get.
fucking
Because what's the point? If you're not doing it now,
robot
and we've told you, and we're
on
saying it
this
to all people here, there'll
microphone?
be a write-up that's
Hey.
put out as well. If you don't fall to it, then you just... It's not only
Who?
yourself that you're
Sorry,
letting down, you're letting
I'm
down the
just
whole force.
making
And
sure I sound
we don't
okay.
want that where people are now saying that the police is falling to bits because of people that are just taking the mick, really.
Right. On that note, we will open the floor to questions. I'll do the usual stuff from left go round. Ideally, if you've got a question, ask it, and then that's your question. I don't like it when we end up going back and back and back to the same person a few times because it sort of keeps everyone here unnecessarily. So if you've got a question, hands up, and I will go round from the left, my left. So there's no questions on the left. There's one question at the back just popped up next to Chloe. Who's that? Denny, is it?
Me, please don't murder me. Any idea for a date for interviews? I'm assuming after Christmas.
For higher up positions, we still need to review all of the applications. We've had loads. It's going to be after Christmas now. There's been other things to sort out, but we will review them all and we'll get back to everybody who's applied. There's Soul, is it, in the middle?
Just a quick one about the person stabbing as people were sent, as he was getting sent to prison. Do you know who that was, or do you not? Because I can tell you now who it was.
I don't know personally who it was. I can find out.
Was it you?
No, it was the Billy, PTSO Billy, I believe his name.
Snitch!
Billy.
Snitch!
I'll happily say anything.
The thing is, wait, just gonna comment on that. I know Callum was joking, but the way he's saying snitch is like we are aiming to better ourselves, and it's not snitching. You're just understanding the standards should be better. Like we shouldn't be doing shit like that. So, I'm gonna use an example. You got called out for your first pissing about on a scene, and I haven't seen you yet. I'm gonna say yet. Do it on a scene after like you was called out on it, and like calling people out on it and shit. Like it just makes them understand. Oh, I was doing wrong. I shouldn't be doing that, and hopefully they're gonna better themselves and like just be better people, not make us look like the simplest way to pull it. Absolute twats.
Yeah, I think I said snitch. Yeah. But what happens is I would much rather officers who are seeing people messing about come to speak to us and let us know about it, because what happens is, as the old D&D that people is now getting charged with because we're now sick of seeing it, that people are now going to go to jail, officers that are just allowing things to happen where they shouldn't. If we get wind that someone's next to somebody who is allowing them to dab, to twerk, to do anything that's unacceptable behaviour, and they allow it without questioning, you all got asked questions in your interview around what would you do if, I don't know, some people may have got different scenario questions, but the question is, what would you do if you see, Nigel might remember this one, but if you see an officer speaking to someone in a bad manner, what would you do? It's the same principle as what would you do if you see an officer doing something, a wrongful arrest, we are testing your integrity of an officer to stand up and go, that's not right, and by you allowing it, you are going against the integrity of a police officer by allowing it. Arrest criminals for doing the wrong thing. Why are you letting police officers do the wrong thing as well? Come forward. You'll look better to us that you're making the police force better by doing it, instead of being brought down and we're going, well, you two were there on scene. Why was you doing it, and why was you allowing him to do it or her to do it? It's as simple as that. Don't get yourself in trouble by allowing it to happen.
Just a quick comment from me, though. So thank you for bringing this to our attention. Thank you for being brave enough to actually call out the name who did this. Everybody should be encouraged to come to us and let us know if these things happen. You don't have to do it in front of everyone. You can come to every single one of us. Just be aware that we appreciate it if these things come to our attention.
I think listening to this, I think I'm gonna upset the apple cart a little bit here. Like I think that I don't want to make PD a sort of a funless. This isn't the right word, but a funless place. Yeah, I don't want to make it so that you drive around in complete silence, really rigid with a lumbar support in your chair, and you sit upright and you mirror signal maneuver, and all this fucking rigid bollocks. Like, I think there needs to be room for people to remember that ultimately you're not like
you're not me.
Yeah, well, even you're not you in this city. You're not you're not. You know what I mean? This isn't your real vocation right here. It's an interpretation of it ultimately. So I think that 90-ish% of the time, 100% of the time we want the high standards. But if 4 people or 3 people are in a car together and they're good mates and they want to have a laugh or whatever, cool. Just don't let it interrupt the level of standards we expect whilst policing. Was there a question? So I got round to Dinny. Anyone to my right of Dinny?
The gentleman here.
Okay. Go ahead.
It's more just a general observation. When we're at bank scenes, can we remember that there's more than just AIU on scene? There's been a number of situations where RIU have been ready to take chase, and AIU just jumped in front, taken lead chase, not said anything at all, and a couple of times it's resulted in a crash almost instantly. We obviously communicated that RIU on scene, ready to take the chase, and AIU just completely ignoring that. Now, whether that's just a breakdown in the radio sometimes,
no, that's happening too often for that to be the case. If that happens, please use your police issue body cams. Please get a clip and send it in, and we'll deal with it accordingly.
Yeah. Oh, that's just reminded me of something actually. In regards to the point around body camming, I'm pretty sure most people here have access to a capturing device. Can I say that one? Capturing device. Yeah, you can all have access to it. So, as police officers, you are under scrutiny by every other person out of the city. And if they make a complaint, it's going to come to you and go, "Well, did you?" And if you can't provide evidence of you not doing it, then we can only go for evidence that's provided. It could be a discrepancy of whatever. But I'm saying it now in front of people. If you can, just get a clipping thing. There's I don't know if I can say it out of context.
Yeah, you can in this meeting.
There's medal that people use. If you've got an NVIDIA capture card at your apartment that you play on your other games, whatever, they have it installed. It's shadow play, whatever. Maybe you have access to it. So in regards of the whole body cam situation, if people are choosing not to body cam live, you can protect yourself by just clipping stuff. And I used to have issues all the time because I was a gobby little officer of people saying I was doing things wrong and I wasn't, but I had to provide it. Nah, I wasn't. But that's the thing, I could then provide it, but you choosing not to have it is going to go more against you by why. If your body cam isn't got the right power or whatever.
Just say how it is.
If your PC can't handle it, then that's something we'll have to look at. But you're all here, and I'm pretty sure you can press a key bind or whatever it may be, a model that could do it. That'll solve most of the problems.
Yeah, I think again, playing devil's advocate a little bit. I think what's hard here is that there's 7 or 8 groups in the city. There's 3 factions. There's AA. There's Delta. There's NHS. There's probably more. I can't think straight. But I feel like, as police, we are held to a higher standard. And I feel like, if I'm really honest, we do give that higher standard. I think even when our RP is poor, I think it's the best in the city. I think even when by an absolute country fucking mile, it's the best in the city. Even when we're at our shittest, we're the best. So I think that we do need to be aware that, with V3 becomes a need for everybody in the city to step up. It's not just about police stepping up and the rest of the city magics itself into shape. There's expectations that the whole city book their ideas up. So for me, this isn't just a police thing. It's everybody in the city is going to have to make that step change into V3.
Yeah, sorry, somebody's just come that I've read. I forgot to mention it before. The joint enterprise charge, we're not using that anymore. So I saw it before. It's been in the back of my mind for a little while, but the joint enterprise thing is daft. It was raised today when someone came to me and I went and watched it back on someone's body cam. and I was talking in there as well, you know, asking him questions about it, and you know, the gentleman, the officer handled it well, but on some of the times he was stumbling because you can't justify a joint enterprise. And I'll give you the thing was, the question I said was that the gentleman was involved and Paul had to deal with it. I think it was Paul anyway, I'm not too sure. The gentleman was in the back of a car, and so the driver was killed an officer, and the passenger got the same charge. Now, this is a question for everybody, that you can put your hands up, the higher-ups included. Would a passenger get charged with the death when he's not the driver?
No.
Would you charge?
Nope.
No.
No. So why would he go down as joint
Considering
enterprise?
a police officer's asking that, it's obviously no.
Right. So that's why. So when we're doing the joint enterprise charge, I understand that it's used for armed robberies. They all go down, right? But armed robbery is 50, if I'm not correct, anyway. So if they're in the bank, they're getting 50 no matter what. If they decide to then shoot, what do you know? And let's say they all shoot, they miss, we all get them in cuffs. You GSR the ones that have shot, and the ones that have shot, attempted. You know, they're obviously shooting at someone. They're attempting murder there. But the GSR the one that hasn't, depending that you know they shoot and they pull up to a stop. This is a perfect scenario. GSR and do some little bit of digging. Right. Well, they've not shot. You've got a gun on you though, so God knows, armed robbery there. Or if you want to do it, you know, accessory to maybe murdered someone or they shot an officer. Do a little bit more digging from it. But it's been authorised by Paul, and I asked about it, and it's been cleared. So the joint enterprise won't stand anymore. It won't be. You're gonna have to do a little bit more questioning. Yes, go on at the back.
What happens if you're in like a big shootout and we manage to kill all the suspects or like turn them down or whatever, but they get
You get a bonus.
They the NHS manage to get them, you know.
Right.
maybe
Yeah.
they don't
So
die and
obviously with the joint enterprise, you're going down that they've killed officers. So let's say that I spot Alex in a shootout in a different alternate world or whatever, and he's involved in shooting someone, and we all know that that's Alex, and you spot him shooting. If he gets brought up and you've seen him shoot, where's your evidence? You've seen him shoot, then you go down as that route. But if he's just caught in the crossfire and he gets up and you go, wait a minute, why are you here? Oh, I don't know. Right, well, joint enterprise murder, they'll be absolutely fuming if they've just been caught in the crossfire. It's just using your head a little bit and using your policing techniques at the best of your ability to do some digging and investigate. And I'm pretty sure, not that it happens every time, but the caution is when questioned. You are meant to question them about the offence that you arrested them for. Ask them some questions about it. Do some digging. That's why the caution is stated as when questioned. You are meant to question them about the offence that you've arrested them for.
And my standard stock default answer is this whole situation goes away in V3 due to some really cool tech.
Yeah. At the moment, we're going into the thing that I want to see a little bit more police work from everybody.
Right.
That's
Okay.
Paula's thing, but that's another matter.
Are there any final questions from anybody or any comments from anybody? Obviously, we've said quite a lot, and I want to give people the opportunity to say, I agree with that, I disagree with that, I didn't like that, I did like this, or any questions you may have. And I genuinely, I really like openness and honesty and transparency. So, like, I like when people speak out, really. So, if you've got anything to say, please raise your hand.
Yep.
Good.
Go ahead.
You were talking about the situation earlier on, and there was about 8 PCs outside the door. I'm going to put my hand up now. I was one of them. I was standing out guard. I was currently waiting on you, but I should have not been right outside that situation, so I just want to apologise for that.
That's okay. It's fine. Don't worry.
Paul, let me just whisper something.
Yeah. I can.
Unfortunately.
Chinese whispers. Ooh.
Sweet nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll move into them impressions now. Okay, so couple of good points to raise. We need to start talking more about the good things that happen in the city. We don't, everything's doom and gloom in these meetings. And it annoys me when we do that, and I feel like we should be talking about some of the success we've had. This is a very new thing, so I'm only going to mention one person here. It's not.
I've got one too.
Two maybe. It's not that nobody else has done good stuff. It's just we've not really been that organised this week because I'm ill. One of them is Chloe. We saw a clip yesterday of some ARU stuff you planned where we were able to finally sneak up on members of Wigwam from behind on the beach, and I believe you orchestrated that whole thing. So, well done, Chloe.
Yeah, there's quite a few officers here that were there. I was one of them. It was fucking brilliant. We literally scared the actual shit out of the two that were there. They had absolutely no idea that we were coming. I watched it back on one of their body cams, and he was pretty terrified that we just appeared like that.
Oh, I heard his comments around what he said. But yeah, well done. I believe Callum's got one as well.
Yeah. I don't know if he's in actually. The PCSO I spoke to twice about the roadblock stuff. Who is that? Is he over there? I love that. Different types of roadblocks, not closing an entire road. I think he did it with Paul actually. It was dealing with.
Was it the RTC you had at a construction site earlier?
No, that was another one.
Okay.
There was one outside NHS where he blocked off the road and stood there and had his little beacon out, and he was constructing traffic to move around it instead of just stopping there. There was another one where instead of blocking a whole road, he closed. All vehicles were moved on the side of the road on a lane, and he closed that lane and just made it clear that the police were there and they were to go around instead of blocking the whole road. It's just the initiative of, instead of going a full line of barriers across a full road, it's just being like, right, the incident's on this part road, I'll just close it here. So then we're not constructive traffic. You advise people that obviously, you know, in your tweets that they may be slow moving traffic or just attend slowly instead of going down 100 miles per hour. But it just impressed me. And I like to see different things like that. So that was my one.
Nice. Okay. Promotions. So we sorry, Yorkshire whispers in my ear. Okay. Promotions. So Barnaby's got some RIU ones. I'll go through them because I think his voice box is broken.
I think I'm back here, but the RIU boys can do their own promos.
You're a little grumbly in the background still, by the way, but we can't hear you.
Don't know what's going on today.
It's okay. So, gents, I obviously hope you're doing well today. I'd just like to welcome some of our people we have on trial, which is Ollie and Tony. Thank you for joining us on trial. There is also someone else who's looking to join. If you could speak to us after this, that would be great. But speaking of people who are on trial, our first person to get out of trial and become a fully fledged member of RIU would be Souls. Do we have Souls with us today?
Get in,
Well done, lad.
Yes.
Right, can I get everybody to do a celebration twerk in
in honor of Soul's twerk? There
Working on it.
Oh, that's the one. How'd you do that?
That is the one that I seen on scene. Surprisingly.
I'd also like to point out, Souls, you did 67 hours between 6 days.
Please sleep, lad.
Passion.
I've been sleeping.
You sure? That's a lot of hours. Congratulations, but please sleep.
It's me when I'm spare. I'm in sea. I don't do
We'll
anything else.
find something else to do then.
No.
And then from PC to Sergeant, we have two today. Both Zane and Rizla. You both here today?
Yes, sir.
You are both now Sergeants of RIU.
Nice.
Well done, lads.
There are no further promotions today, other than any PCSOs who have been a PCSO for more than 7 days. You are now PC, and if that is you, which I don't think it is anyone, stay behind. We'll get you sorted. And then there is one chief promotion. I am now God. No, I am announcing Alex as ACC. And Barnaby moving up as DCC.
Hello.
There are still now multiple higher up roles available. And as I say, people have applied. We'll review those applications and we'll be in touch probably over the Christmas period with view of interviewing.
What are the higher up
Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but they are available. You'll be able
It's
to see them
it's
on the
two
badge numbers doc.
DCCs, 2 CIs, plus inspectors and stuff. But that's more within units.
By the way, top of promotions, just because Paul doesn't like them, I'll do it.
I was about to do them.
Fuck off. Archie
Those
has
units.
gone to Chief of Unit, and Mr. Riley Styles has gone to Assistant. Obviously, RIU boys, you guys are going to know that, but everybody else who's like, the alien's gone, and Barnaby's stepped up, them two are now taking the reins.
Well done, lads.
Any interest or anything to their unit, do voice your interest to them.
Yes. And then finally, I would like to take this opportunity to apologise to absolutely nobody. The chief does what the fuck he likes, yeah?
All right, Scully, calm down.
Right, okay. That's all of us done. No more questions. I'm going to ask higher ups to search on the door.
My door.
There is one more note. Actually, I did sack somebody earlier. What was his name? Jack Adams. Jack Adams has been sacked. He's no longer a member of the force. He was also charged with.
You good?
You're good.
Oh, fucking Reese calling me.
Also,
Come
if
on,
anyone
Reece.
is not staying in the city, can they get out pretty quick? Because not everyone who's here can get on duty at this time.
All right, Reese.
Good as always.
One sec. Do I have one?
I can search now.
I wouldn't say
Yeah,
you can let say one way, by the way, if you want.
Yours, or do you
I'm
give
gonna
that?
use it. Fucking shit.
Yeah,
You have a license plate.
What car?
Your pockets are so fucking deep. Jesus fuck.
I'm good.
Well, yeah, you're good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have one of those. Who's this? You are
Mine.
good.
Mate.
Shit, I can't say that I have
Answer's bounty cost.
I'll go stick it normally, innit?
All good.
All good. The fucking muscles are going slow. You have nearly
You
one
know,
of every
why did
armor.
you go 300 heroin on me?
So you know, tier 4 armor, if it's pushed, as in from your storage, you are free to use it.
Nigel,
But
you
Guess what
are
I'm
if you're
speaking to
taking
you
it
right
from
now?
the
All good.
armory, use your own grade
No,
of armor. Yep, that's fine. If it's from personal, use it. But if it's from
You are
armory, you
all
can't.
good as well.
That's fine. You're good. B-Tech Oscar.
Just ask about that. Blame Ashley from AA. She told me.
Yeah, me, sorry.
Well, so
Yeah, just a question about the PC thing. He said it was like
Oscar, you
a
tell me.
week or something. I could maybe talk to you.
Mr.
I
Zane.
believe I joined around the 15th.
Should just have 2 hours
But it's technically 6 days at the moment, but for me, for you it would be 6 days, but for me it's 7. So I don't know if you.
I see how
I think it's.
What? Sound.
Cheers, bro.
How many hours have you done? A lot of hours. Doing every day.
Giving me
I've been basically doing every day.
There's no PCSOs who have done just a week. Everyone's on 5 days, or they've done a shit ton.
He's on 6, but he's in a time difference.
Yeah,
he's on
3
7.
hours. Oh, I'm gonna run down here my vest sorted.
If that makes sense.
I mean, I'm looking at the list right now. They're all 5s.
So you don't have the 15th.
Yeah.
I joined on the 2nd.
And today's the 20th. Yeah, so that's 5 days.
For me, it's the 21st at the moment.
I've been.
Okay, that's 36 though, isn't it?
Has over 1,000
Why are you just staring at me? Don't fight?
Okay, I was just checking.
I mean,
Come on, Souls.
not really.
Don't look into this guy man's eyes. Come on.
They're just staring at me.
Come on,
Hey,
Souls.
so tomorrow then you can
I think you go
get
and
it.
watch it.
But yeah, I'll ask someone tomorrow, and if they say yeah, it's fine. We might have to do you for 2 weeks.
Right.
Who's this one?
Thank you. Have a good one.
See you later.
This is Bobby Moore.
Bobby Moore. When did Bobby Moore?
What are you doing here?
The 2nd of.
Yeah, he's done 18 days. He's good to go.
Yeah, so right, we'll do him then.
No, as
Cool. How's
us.
it going?
No, if you don't need to be here, you don't. If you got shit, don't be here.
In fact, it was you that done my training, Callum.
Yeah. With Dave, I feel like.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Oh, I might actually get to do a bit.
That you can wear will be in our
Yes, bye.
Had an extended clip.
Scott, I'm hoping to try and. I wanted to try and do it earlier, Charles, before Christmas, but I'm not sure if we can.
I can get put on a call if you want. I'd say that. I'd say that.
It's not me for once. It's actually not me.
Do I still sound really shit to everyone?
I am eating, but it won't me.
Oh, sorry.
Radio check.
Sorry again.
Okay.
need to go and stay at 11. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
What's that, mate?
I said I'm taser trained as well, so I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
You can quickly go on shift now, about to do promotion now for you. You're on shift, aren't you, Zane?
Yeah, I'm just doing it, the stuff now.
That's sweet.
Good night.
See you, man. Riley, don't forget to tell them to stick it in badge numbers, otherwise they won't get put on.
Yeah, I will do.
Sorry, mate.
Is that right? Walking down there. Okay. Alright, cool on then, Rizzler. Let's get
It's a good 4
What?
What?
Oh, you coming back for some more, yeah? Yeah, you're right, mate.
How are you doing?
Bad,
So
yeah.
for you,
Congrats on your promotion.
I think you literally just changed the colour of your vest.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to...
And for you, to Sergeant,
I'll
also,
change
there you
it.
go.
Haven't I?
Sergeant,
This one,
boom.
yeah.
Big Michael.
Oh, no,
Is it
no,
this one?
no, no, you keep the vest you had on.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops, what the fuck?
Actually, you know what, ask this guy. What vest do you have on?
Oh, it feels good to be out of the highlighter
Oh, I
uniform.
bet, man. Enjoy it. Have you got yourself some tier 1 armor as well?
I haven't.
Go to the
I'm
armory,
just
go
gonna see
get
if
it.
I'm
It doesn't
classy
really
at
do a
first
whole
and
lot, but it might stop you getting
It
scratched.
does more than what we had before. I died the other week,
Yeah, yeah.
burnt alive, mate. So hopefully.
This is literally the most important job I'm going to do today, probably. Is bounce the motherfucker out. Fuck PD. Yes. Yes. No, he's stuck.
Is this a man you can talk to about something like this?
I'd probably have to be Paul Shaw about the trials.
Oh, Twitter. Do you want me to go shout Twitter over? Because I'm sure
It's,
he'd be alright with
it's
it.
also about Johnny, because obviously he's not
We all
on the
go to
side.
PD,
but
so
like-
to be a few people there.
And I don't know. Well, I mean,
Chief Paul,
you're,
you're on radio.
you're also my boss, and like, it's, you know, I know. Let's get sorted out right now.
Is he after ARU trial, is he?
That's the thing, we can't. Yeah, but that's the thing, Scott. Like, if we have to take you, we have to take other people.
Yeah. It's up to you, Joe, man. You're the person that's
thing-
here. Like, it's your unit.
Yeah,
innit?
the thing we've
Exactly, it's completely up to you, mate.
the only thing we've lost 4 in the past week. Like,
Exactly.
If
You need the numbers, and
Paul,
you
you're
need
on
the
radio.
numbers. I'm ready to do it right now. So I'm sure you can make the exception. You're the big boss, you know.
I'm not the big
Don't be too pushy because he'll just tell you to fuck off. Which he's well in his right to do. But
it's Johnny. That's
yeah, but if you Joe, if you want to just gonna have a chat with Paul or Trevor and say, look, we've had a few people leave. Two have gone today as well, haven't they? You know, if this officer's shown that he's got what it takes for ARU as a PC, then do what the boys say.
We've done the trials before, but we were only gonna get 3 in because we had already.
Yeah.
I just joined the 4 as well, so I was understand it was a bit soon.
I'll speak to Alex now. Alex and Trell.
Right, nice one.
Whoever's on. And then we'll try and get something sorted tonight.
Right,
It's not a guarantee though, yeah. Don't get your hopes up, buddy.
It's not
And if Joe don't like you, he can still give you a kick up the arse and sack you too.
Oh, no,
You're
Joe,
a
Joe
little bit, you're a little
likes
bit,
me.
you're a
Joe
little
don't-
bit lucky just because we have lost 4 this week. So you're
Just
lucky.
the colour of your team. I
believe that's a
The
negative.
colour of my
that's-
team, Joe. You're mirroring it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a better colour.
It's a nice colour, but like, you know what I mean? Blue nose all the way. I mean, at least we both don't
I'll
like,
go
at
and
least we
find
both don't like
Alex.
green.
Okay.
Aye,
Glasgow
sorted.
blank.
Yeah, I'll go with Joe on that.
Don't all go with him. He's gonna talk to the chiefs. Let's do it alone.
No, I don't know. What?
Beep, ba, 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 da, ba, ba, beep, ba.
Alright, anyone ready to hit the streets with me? Got a spare seat? Want to jump in, or are you waiting for Joe?
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait for Joe here, mate. Cheers for that. Thank you. See you later on.
I mean, I've still got to wait for a ride along. I can't go up.
Ah, right, yeah.
Officer Dougie taking a flight. Take
Hello, Dougie.
See you later, buddy.
Wanna go see if that sergeant wants
That ain't no sergeant. That's the ROU chief, that is.
Oh, my bad.
Archie.
You doing well?
Yeah, not too bad, you?
God, it's so hard to tell who the hell's in this vehicle.
Me, Barnaby.
It's not tinted or
Radio
anything. I
check.
still can't fucking see
I'm
it.
in your 5x5.
Dude, did you see that? You got a front page of the
I
newspaper.
know you look handsome as.
Dude, I was like, right, we're taking a nice picture for this front
Made
page.
yourself look real menacing. For someone who's usually pretty chill and nice, you've made yourself look proper menacing.
Yeah, you know, it's just, you gotta do this. The classic. And no one messes with me.
Archie, I'll mess with you.
That's very true, man. Very true. You might do. You might do. Barnaby, do we need? Does there need to be?
The officer's just died.
What we said on our meeting?
Yeah.
What?
About.
Has anyone got any idea why we've got a local running in the front of PD?
I've just shifted him out of the car park. Took me about 10 minutes to move him along. I don't know what he's there for. Have a chat with him, Roddy. Which bit? The voice meeting or the worded type meeting?
The voice meeting.
Oh, I've got to try and remember now.
I know, this is what I'm thinking.
Do you want me to help you?
If you're talking, I can't hear anything you're saying. It's proper breaking up.
I'm giving you hints.
What? Am I pointing at me?
Oh. Bear me.
Officers at the dealership, you all good?
Oh god, what have I done?
I mean, this is when everyone's on.
Dave Johnson,
We've got 89 people.
Yeah, 22.
Archie, can you hear me?
It's Denny on. It's Ross.
Should it only be me and you that go up there?
Oh yeah, I'm here, buddy.
On the streets.
Yeah, we need. The thing is, we need everyone on, so we need to
What are you
announce
doing?
it before.
Well, we can just do some now and do some tomorrow. I mean, I'm not trying to control the decision.
All right, I'm with you, Archie. Sorry, mate.
You are.
Yeah, dude. We really spoke about it
I
once.
know. Yeah, James, we need to have a quick chat, right, mate?
I think when.
Oh no.
I do respect Johnny as well.
We can go on the roof. I doubt the office is clear, but we can go on the roof.
Yes, I
We
love
need
the
to
roof.
announce- We can't just do it.
Yeah, we'll
Yo,
just
you
take you
tell
to
us if
Matt Juliad.
I'll shoot you back if you try and shoot me. If you shoot me.
Oh, I don't need to shoot you, dude. I got a helicopter.
That's in self-defense, by the way.
Right, are you on radio, mate?
Say Barnaby or Riley.
Say Riley just asked for Riley.
That's what it sounded like to me.
Wait.
Can you repeat last, please, Riley?
Is Ryan from RIU on radio?
Oh, we totally thought you said is Riley on radio.
Riley, we thought you asked for yourself on radio.
Didn't he?
Riley, is Riley on radio?
That'll be a negative.
I've no clue.
Oh, Ryan. I'm far behind today, I am.
Where are you, Riley?
Good.
I'm just in PD, just gonna check the car park for him.
There you go. I've gone with it just in case.
Yeah, man.
Right, what's up?
Yeah, it's 2
So
seconds.
essentially,
Oh yeah, you take the lead and I'll pipe in.
yeah, of course. There's been a number of complaints, or at least things being brought up about some of the ways you interact with some of our staff who work within PD.
Yeah.
Very specifically, more so, some of the kind of creepy weird comments you make to some of the female staff within PD.
Alright.
And as far as I'm aware, this class is a formal warning. And this is just for you to just take on board and
I'm not having any luck
for future reference. Like, we're not looking to have people in PD who are misogynistic or anything close to
That's
that.
when it was or what I did.
But essentially, like, honestly, it might literally just be you following a conversation and it just getting out of hand and you making a comment which just is actually a bit overboard. But essentially, this is a formal warning for misconduct towards female staff members within PD.
And can I ask what I said, possibly?
Yeah, so there was a comment that you made in the hospital. There's a few other officers present, one of them being Alice. Conversation. You weren't the only one saying stuff, but what you said was just a bit too far. Noticed. So, just about remaining professional at all times, especially in uniform. You know, some of the stuff that might be humorous can still be on the verge of against city rules. It's quite a clean city for that sort of language, so it's just about making sure turn the line and really stick to it.
What did I actually say? Like, don't you know?
I can't remember the exact words.
Honestly,
I've seen
I
it,
can't
but basically insinuating something to do with Tony and Alice's sex life.
He said.
And what does it mean that I get a formal warning?
It says it in the rule book for PD. What specifically that says, I can't remember, but it goes verbal warning, formal warning, written warning, and then after that, I think you're.
So is this my verbal warning? Because I've never got those before.
Well, depending on the grade of offence, depends on the type of warning provided.
Yeah, basically, there's been a few other issues as well. This is your first warning, but it's also going to be your final warning for this sort of conduct. If it happens again, you know, unfortunately, we'll have to let you go.
So if I do anything else wrong, what does that mean?
If you do something wrong within your unit, you know that your unit head will deal with it if it's an ARU issue. If you're doing something that's unprofessional, chances are you'll get sacked.
So is this a formal warning then, yeah?
Yeah, and it'll go on your file, be logged.
Right, and how many formal warnings do you get? Is it? Oh.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm just looking now. Okay, so a formal warning is a grade 2 warning. In our handbook, it explains all of this, and different sorts of actions dictate different types of warnings. But a formal warning, for example, if this was a verbal warning, if you had 2 verbal warnings, it then moves to 1 formal.
Yeah.
This is just 1 formal, and once again, if you get 2 formal warnings, it then moves to suspension with investigation.
Okay.
Or in that sense, it could mean demotion. Is another example of what could happen from a level 3 warning, essentially. So this is 1 formal. Essentially, don't get another formal. So you could. So my understanding is you could get 2 verbal warnings, which would then count as 1 formal. So then you've got 2 formals, which then becomes a level 3, which is a suspension with investigation, which could be just like a demotion, as an example. Essentially, don't be misogynistic. Even if it wasn't intentional, it's okay. I'm saying, because obviously I've seen the clip, I don't remember specifically what you said, but you essentially went overboard with your statement, although others around you were making similar comments. It's a formal warning. If you get another formal warning, then we have to take some actions against you, essentially. So, such as demotion, and if you're doing something crazy, maybe, who knows, immediate dismissal is the highest level of that, but essentially it'll probably be like a demotion or something along those lines.
Yeah, right.
But if you get a verbal warning, you can still get another verbal warning on top of that, and then it becomes a formal warning. But
Can you ever like get them removed or not?
It does not state anything inside of the manual or inside of the handbook regarding that. But this is a I'm saying this is a formal warning because it's essentially because of the kind of the area and topic this is around. But So I would say no. It probably can't be removed. I wouldn't worry too much. And if I do suggest you go have a look at the handbook. There's a whole section on disciplinary actions. There is also a list of example rules of which, if you break them, grades what value of issue you can have.
Yeah, alright.
Just in case you're curious, some other examples of a formal warning is if you were breaking laws within city, if you were not properly putting away your equipment off duty, messing around with weapons on duty.
So serious then.
Yeah. So that's the level of a formal warning.
Okay. And yeah.
Above that, it's corruption of any kind, or stealing evidence from lockers and etc. So that's like the top tier stuff. But essentially, this is a formal warning. You can, like I said, go have a look at the examples. But that's essentially it. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask us, and we'll answer them the best we can.
I mean, there's no point in arguing it, was there really?
No. But essentially, see, the reason why we want to have this conversation with you now is, at least from my perspective, I can see this easily being a mistake from your behalf. As in, like, this wasn't specific to what you were intending to do, or offend or insult someone, or in any form of fashion, possibly. But the fact is that this is how it's being viewed. Because of this, you need to understand that this way of speaking might not be always appropriate or appropriate.
Yeah, that's understandable. Obviously we were just joking around, and I thought, obviously, if she just said something to me, it'd be fine, sort of thing. But
yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes because a lot of people are body camming live and stuff, you can't necessarily go into those discussions, and then this is how it ends up. But some of those times, if it was a little bit worse, it could have become a gov issue, which would be way more serious for you than just us having a chat here. While there's a lot of stuff going on with like joining in other people, just remember that you are still a police officer.
Yeah.
Right.
Sweet. There we go, my dude. I wouldn't worry too much. You just need to just clean up your act a little bit, and just make sure that you try to refrain from those sort of jokes or comments or statements.
Yeah.
And apart from that, you'll be doing lots of great work. It's just sometimes we pick up on some of the rubbish what comes out of your mouth, essentially. That's it, my dude. Right, sweet, let's go back to work.
Yeah, I think you boys are doing some trials, so Joe probably wants you there to...
Beers are on Barnaby.
Yeah, I'll go shoot some people.
Yeah, I think Joe probably wants you down there for trials, doesn't he?
Are we going now, or?
I've just seen in emails that you boys are doing trials, so get on the radio and see where they're at, if they need you.
Yeah, I'll see it. Radio check.
I've thrown it out there for one to see.
Cool.
I was quiet then. I was searching and searching for the other. Just the same. 4 language use. But
yeah.
Seems to be a good lad, otherwise he's gonna get sacked.
Yeah. Like, the thing is, it's not specifically in the rules of PD, so it's like...
It's a city issue though, isn't it, really? We're dealing with it here so that it doesn't...
It's like I was looking at all the... Because the thing is, he could easily get just a warning on his account. But yeah, I looked through the grades of PD rules, and it fits the formal warning, so...
Always worries me when Paul and Yorkshire go off their own radio. The shot's been fired.
and it looks like it's near the Amazon warehouse.
Yeah,
Be careful because you're wearing your
What do? Should we jump in the heli?
We're 2 miles out.
Pick me up. I did call for you on radio, Xavier. Like, I can see an SUV.
You want to jump in impasse, right, Archie?
Quite nearby.
Yeah, that's the vehicle we were trying to apprehend for failed stop.
There's 3 suspects in the vehicle. Have we got any arm units on the way?
DPD.
Received.
I've been absolutely sending in impasse
Nice.
recently.
Myself and Archie are in impasse and we're en route. What's your postal?
Warehouse in Polito.
Received, on our way. It'll take us fucking ages to get there, isn't it?
I can see at least 1 person down, potentially an officer. There's trackers not moving on the map or on our GPSs, and no response from the officers either.
Received. We're pulling in.
I did say it's always quite
we have
weird when they
impasse,
they do that, innit? And apparently dead.
Is the SUV parked?
The SUV parked right next to the place. I don't know if there's any.
What are we missing? What's we?
Well, you know, I said that it's always weird when Yorkshire and Paul are off being quiet somewhere. Apparently they could be dead.
Stand by.
Can we, if the scene is clear, can we get NHS there as soon as we can?
I need to
Scene is not clear.
Received.
We don't know if the scene's clear. We're waiting for impasse to do overhead views.
Day 11, have a good shift.
See you, Nigel. He's not a happy bunny, is he?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth discussing our opinions or not. I don't know.
So it's one of those things. It's difficult for him with where he sits in it all. But then it's difficult for the hires to say we want professionalism. Tough one.
Well, yeah. The thing is, I'm completely ignoring the actions of what taken. Because Nigel's complaint is more so regarding
we do need
like the body cams.
Yeah,
and
it
stuff.
sounds really meta to me, to be fair.
Yeah.
Even if we do have them, you know. Maybe he could, rather than turning... You can't ask someone who's living it is to turn it off completely. But he could certainly turn his capture off if he had to for something.
Oh, just give me a minute. Someone's... Oh, no, dude, no, I'll look at the messages afterwards. Someone's not happy. I think he didn't get the promotion this thing. I don't fucking know. I don't care. But I'll have a look in a bit, I'm sure. Yeah, from my perspective, body cam is specifically for gov issues only.
Yeah. Right, impasse is in the air.
Going into Polito now.
Right, keep it stationary, mate.
Current active.
We've got an officer down. I believe there was 3 suspects in the vehicle.
Can you take us back towards the station a little bit? They're behind a bush.
016. We've got 1 guy on the floor. It looks like they may have had a collision with his vehicle and escaped on foot. So, impasse, are you getting any thermals in the area?
There's the 3 of you underneath a tree. I believe that is you, isn't it?
Yeah, there's 2 officers, a down suspect, and then another officer along with Callum.
Okay, so there's now 5 of you on the scene, yeah, as officers. 2 more have just arrived, is that correct?
Yeah, NHS has just arrived and another
Yep,
officer.
see. We'll scan the area.
You'll be looking for people on foot.
I've got one on the... There is someone on the coastline right now, right underneath impasse.
We have a blue Merc. It's just
On the coastline, that'll be them.
Takes a little bit lower, mate, 'cause all I've got's a square. I can't see... Oh, yeah, okay. Alright, that's fine. They are running southbound along the coastline.
Unit, will you follow us down the coastline?
They are using their radio. They're just inside just on the waterline now, using their radio.
There's a car approaching on the beach. Tony, watch out, there's a car on the left.
Just to make you aware, Callum has been pronounced DOA on
There's a blue C63. It's dropped off 2 individuals who are running alongside the road towards where you are now. They're below you. No, correction, those are officers. Those are officers, sorry. Capture that. They are still in the car.
Just past an IKEA at 308. I'll be
1 person inside the car. And the suspect's now running up towards it.
Now,
Yep, that's correct. And the suspect's now underneath impasse running towards the car. They're about to meet up now.
Yeah, this blue vehicle's going to pick him up.
Yeah, he's getting in the car now.
Because of the shooter, the shots authorised on the tyres.
Yeah,
Make a call.
Yeah, if shots have been on tyres, take it.
Shots on tyres have been taken.
Car looks to be disabled. They are stationary.
Stopped.
Yeah, we had officers who died from this,
Keep
so
this moving
cars
on
is,
fast, please.
Caution, guys, move up.
Received. I'm just passing Polito Tunnel. I'll be there as quick as I can.
One is out.
Stepping out of the
I
vehicle.
see a gun. He has a gun in his hand.
Yeah, he's on. I see.
Radio check.
Yeah, keep it stationary, mate. Go.
One of them has their hands up. One of them looks like they're laying down in the vehicle. Please, someone take a close look at the vehicle with the guy with his hands up.
One in cuffs.
Both are at the vehicle.
Is there any officers at the moment not engaged?
There should be quite a
Me and
few.
Yorkshire just woke up at hospital.
Can I get an officer come in to cuff this guy, please?
I've just woke up at hospital. I haven't got a clue what happened last minute. I know I was up at I don't know. I'm dead.
We believe we've got the suspects in custody now.
Yeah, we have 2 in cuffs.
Yeah, please work.
Just be aware, please. There's a red in colour, black stripe Audi RS6 at Legion, around Legion area, interfering with investigations at this time.
NPAS is going to review fuel and head back to the city.
We could land at Polito PD if you want, mate. There's a helipad.
Oh, they're not going to drive back.
Yeah, I think we should stay in the air for a few more minutes in case they've been on radio again.
Sure.
Yeah, that PD car just rocked up then, but others could.
Are any RIU need the ride long? Or PCs?
Is that solved?
Yep.
Do you wanna hop in with me, mate?
Yep.
I'm an RIU sergeant, bro. You what?
PD.
No worries, I was just off in Polito. I'll head back there now, bro.
Actually, does their MPAS need a passenger? Or they got one.
MPAS is full at the moment.
See, just thought I'd double check.
What time is ARU training?
I'm not sure on that one. You have a car turning off the highway now. Looks like it's driving towards you at the scene. One occupant.
Can I just be informed of the charge again, please?
It'd be murder, wouldn't it? Murder of an LEO.
What's happened? What's the situation?
Callum, you were at an incident. There was shots fired. You were transported to hospital.
Alright, sorry to interrupt. There is a white car outside the PD station that's just done a complete circle around the block and is now parked up. Looks like it could be waiting for you guys on the ground.
What I would say is maybe give them a quick GSR or a test to see if they've got firearms and see what car they're in and what car was on scene. Maybe I don't know.
Let's just let you know when the comments in relation to guns was said by the suspects have searched this person and found a pistol and a shotgun on his person.
Callum, just to confirm, the gentleman we've apprehended was one you were pursuing for the failure to stop, and then subsequently you radioed through that you pulled the gentleman over the vehicle and stopped, and then there were shots fired, and we had to get you emergency rescue from there. So
that's cool. Did anyone see my blue Range Rover anywhere?
Yes.
Believe yes.
Any active? I've just been.
There's a lot of shots fired in city.
That'll explain why I woke up at hospital.
But this car is now currently parked quite close to MPAS. If you're quick, you can get to the station and get safe.
the suspects ran onto the beach, no longer has the GSR residue on his hands. It is possible that he's managed to wash it off in the sea.
Right, that car's now approaching you. One individual in that car is approaching you guys on the ground.
Might be best to get them down for questioning, to be honest. Might be best to interview them.
And Callum, the other person that was driving the vehicle, that was driving the second vehicle that was pulled up, the other suspect has advised he did put weapons in this person's pocket. After doing the search, I did find a pistol and a shotgun on this person.
Is Jack Adams involved by any chance?
I would do.
Right, this car's really suspicious. Can you all get into the station now so that you are safe away from this individual in case he's on the radio for backup?
I would recommend just arresting people there on suspicion of whatever you deem is the best correct charge and get them all interviewed and question them. Do a little bit of digging.
Along with GSR testing the one.
In time was under a suspicion of aiding and abetting a suspect.
Name call my vehicle or get rid of it.
Yeah, I'll sort it.
Right, that white car's now leaving the
White
scene.
vehicle is leaving the scene.
Right, do you want to take us home, mate? Now that they're safe in there, I feel our work is done, isn't it?
There'll be shots at PD. I'm just training calm with an AR.
Oh, Callum's getting an AR now.
Yeah, I believe my car's probably still outside the PD in the car park. It is. Oh, you went. What would Nigel say, Archie? What will Nigel say?
I don't know, what would he say? I know nothing about Nigel.
Nigel's car was purple.
Oh, was it? Well, I've had all my vehicles have been this colour before Nigel's even in the city.
Oh,
so.
fair. You know, seeing as he's given it up today, no longer got his beloved Karen.
Yeah, every single one of my vehicles is this exact same colour. So,
The arch purple.
It is. Although, Emad essentially got the same colour as me on the same day as me, so what's that saying? I was his boss at the time at Delta, so who knows? Maybe he was just copying his boss.
Can we please look at that recent text message?
Yeah, received. We've just been dealing with an officer's being shot up at Polito, but most people will be returning to the seat now.
Okay, received.
Grey bulletproof clothing. Sounds like a wigwam. They're wearing a lot of snow white, camo-y stuff.
Yeah, sorry, I just need to reply to this message.
Yeah, no worries.
I have a story to tell you.
Oh, go on, I'm all ears.
Reminds me because of where we are right now. So back in the day when Delta Taxis was in its prime.
You mean when you were the boss?
It did have some prime time when I was the boss, but no, when Kiddo was running it.
Did he really? Wow.
Well, he opened Delta Taxis.
Wow.
Nobody messed with Delta Taxis. Now, the Yakuza had an issue with one of our boys. And nobody messed with Delta Taxis. Well, let's put it this way. I've attended the bank quicker than PD has before.
Yeah.
As Delta Taxis. So we find out one of our boys has been taken hostage, and five or six Delta taxi vehicles have got to the bank and is negotiating with the hostage taker before PD
You've got your own
arrives.
guns out and everything.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
100%. So Delta taxis was something to not mess with, which is a bit weird. We're a fucking taxi company, but
Well, it's just a front, then, isn't it? Really?
And also, yeah, and also we did our car would our fastest vehicle would do 280. So
Is that the Tesla?
no, it was the Mercedes. The Tesla was ever so slightly slower. Actually, the Tesla wasn't even a vehicle that was yet at that point. Yeah, sorry. Up at that petrol station, we're just passing when I started mentioning this comment, this little story. Police arrested me because the accuser made me kill somebody.
Yeah.
And the big cheese killer wasn't having any of that. So I was sat in an interview room, telling my story, saying I had no clue what was going on. I was forced to kill the guy. I was probably going to be let go. Kidder bursts through the door, shoots the witness. There was only one witness, which was essentially taking me over. Kidder walks into the interview room and shoots the witness in front of the before he could give his full statement.
Yeah.
So guess who was cleared of charges due to lack of evidence?
Yeah, but surely the kid did not go down for murder.
No, Kidder then took the guy hostage who was interviewing me, and then he walked out of the
walked out.
Walked down the police station with him. Times were different. Could you imagine someone walking into a PD station?
So how did they even get in? Did he lockpick it?
I think all the doors were just left open all the way through. He'd say, yeah, he just walked straight in, shot the witness, because the witness was in the same room as me.
Callum, you on radio?
And
just to confirm, so the person that drove the
yeah, dude, that was quite the time.
Scene just then, we're in agreement that he should get arrested for aiding and abetting, because if it wasn't for the tyres being shot out in the vehicle, he would have escaped with the suspect. As for the suspect, we believe he was part of that scene because he was the person he was originally chasing before these shots were fired up in the police zone. And then he came down from the beach here, which means he could have potentially washed off any GSR and has openly admitted that he's handed weapons to the assailant to try and hide them. Would you say we're in right mind here to place this person down for murder of Leo?
Right. What it sounds like, if you want to go on 91, I can discuss it on another radio channel instead of clogging this one up.
Alright, yeah, we'll do now.
Paulie on radio.
I am.
I've got people asking why there's no boxes in the bank.
Because we're training.
You know how long for?
20 minutes or so.
No worries.
Where are you now? Where are you now?
Right.
Okay.
So, in my downtime, I've been coming up with my own if I was a bank robber route.
Yeah. Souls was taking us. He took me and Dinny round one of them around here recently, right? And he turned.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
He has, and he turned into a car park, and something happened with his head, and we ended up floating upside down, doing corkscrews, stationary, just spinning around on the spot in the air in his car, and me and Dinny had to jump out. And we were just shouting, Souls, where are you? And then he just appeared next to us like, who are you guys shouting at? I'm like, it's you! And he's like, oh, my head popped.
I can't believe Souls loves me too much.
He's yeah, he said it was all him. It was all his idea. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. It was both them.
I was gonna say, yeah, so you come out of the new bank and you come down here.
Yeah, I really think it's a really great idea, because I come down here sometimes, I'm like, oh, it's dead end. Yeah, there's it.
Through here. All the way through. Then across the way.
I think you should record it and stick it in as one of the training routes. you boys. It's hard, it's tight,
Through here.
it's fast as well at times. Got a little bit of everything, you know. And in Soul's words, by the time you've got here, the PD are going, where the fuck have they gone?
They go this way. And what the fuck is the floor?
That's it then.
Someone just dropped £1 on the floor.
Really?
There's no £1 on the floor here for you.
Nope, I can see the lamppost lying down next to us, but I can't see any money.
Oh no, for me someone's just dropped £1 on the floor right here.
Nope.
And then the real insult to injury is you can there's another car park near here, I can't remember where it is now, but you can just do it in reverse.
Yeah.
Back on them.
As long as no one's so far behind that they're technically blocking you.
Yeah. Yeah, someone's so far behind in the chase that they don't know where you've gone. And you can come back down here. But instead of going left, you go right. And then we've got another car park. And you just sweat it out right here.
Well, until your wanted's gone. That's the only thing, isn't it? The only thing that would get you is that you'd have a wanted ping.
Is so bullshit.
And there'd be all these CCTV cameras pinging it. It's a very sophisticated system that it instantly notifies us through CCTV. It's like CIA, Jason Bourne style stuff.
It's top tier.
What's the red man?
Somebody above us.
Is Mikey Romeo Kilo 423.
They couldn't find us.
It comes back to a Meredith
It's worked.
Tiffin.
He was right above us.
Piff Tiffin.
Come around the other
Meredith
side.
Piff Tiffin.
That's one of your boys.
Paul, we're en route to your location.
What is he looking first?
Fucking
Callum.
hell, boys.
Beat last.
I don't know if Callum was looking for us then.
No. Welfare check on Paul. You need assistance.
Postal?
I think he's riding alone. He's just gone off road.
Mark his location.
I'm talking about Callum. I don't know where Paul is.
Does anybody go read on Paul's tracker? I'm struggling to find it.
Back at Legion Bank, getting followed around by 4 members of Wigwam who were pointing guns at me.
Let's go.
Yeah, receive mate, we're en route to them.
Paul's not on duty.
Don't have a tracker on currently.
Yeah, I'm off duty.
What are you doing?
I'm at front of Legion
What are
Bank.
What are we doing? What are you doing?
Making sure what
Getting
you were
shot
doing was completely legal.
Officer B-more.
Yeah, we're just
Doing some test routes for
looking
RRU.
for a technical route to test
Any
our
available
drivers for Evos.
officers
Ah, right, okay.
stay at 0 at Legion?
It's not like I'm your boss or anything.
Welfare check on the
Yeah,
officer
no?
scene.
Yeah, we're state 5, we're state 5.
He really was looking for us, wasn't
He
he?
was.
We are on scene, but we're only
multiple
taser
shots have been fired.
That must mean the route was perfect.
Right. Got
If you're
fired, mate.
all taser trained, just try and keep eyes on our officer and try and keep eyes on the situation. Give us updates.
Right, where are you?
Just upstairs. I was trying to find the.
Let's get as many armed officers as we can.
He pulled out a pumpy on him.
Received en route.
What postal?
There's
Pulled out a pump, I
Legion
think it's a
Bank.
pumpy, the long shotgun. He pulled out one of them. Some guy pulled up because he was weaving in and out.
Wait,
of
you need to
cars.
get clear of this. This is
And
Petrol
these-
Firearms.
Oh, fucking hell, that's loud.
Oh.
Can you do us a favour though? Can you get on NHS radio and get someone here? Nice one, mate.
Should I close off the road, Brian?
Yeah, yeah. You coordinate off just across the road. Yeah, that'd be great.
And this
Refresh
guy
my
was
memory
got
how long that would be.
pumpy on him.
You got any medically? Any of you boys medically trained?
Do you want me to
Pick
pick him
this
up
guy.
for you?
Yeah, please.
Was it, Paul, was it, I mean, was this the state 0?
Well, just as I arrived, I could see an AR magazine on the floor as well.
Basically, some guys pulled up because this guy was driving recklessly.
Right, let's
to
get
fuck.
some NHS on now.
Yeah, someone's on the radio, Callum.
He's
Oh, you're
trust
right.
me, he's
One
dead.
unit of
I think he's
NHS
dead.
on route now.
Just let you know,
The amount of
it's
bullets
the
that went
same
into the
sentence and fine as arrest the person plus an additional 20k fine on our raw sheet.
I haven't touched it yet. I don't want to be putting my hands. I can
If
have a
this
look
is
like
Paul, if this is Paul, that's
Officers
an
responding
table with
to
one.
scene at Legion.
Wait, move out the way,
please.
please.
We've got one potentially dead on the scene. one member of the public here talking to us, give us some statement.
Understood. What about our chief?
Wigwam, we're not pointing guns at him.
At this point, got no idea where he is.
Do we want to get some armed units and try and have a look, go on the way to you?
Yep, definitely.
Has this gent got any ID on him at all?
But I think he's dead. The amount of bullets that went into him was absolutely outrageous.
To PD, please. All armed.
They didn't look like Wigwam. Who said it was Wigwam? Who said it was Wigwam?
No. We believe that was the last thing Paul was saying.
Yeah, Paul mentioned Wigwam.
Get out of the way, guys. Let this guy do his job.
Sorry, yeah. The car that pulled up, I don't think it was Wigwam.
Have you got a car description for us?
Fucking no, mate. All I know it was just a blacked out car, a fully blacked out car. That was literally it. I was just driving around. My name's Marcus, bro, but I was just driving around. This guy was driving in and you see those alleyways and
Callum, just to confirm, there was a state 0 in
it's quite a thin gap.
Yeah, officers are on the scene now, Alice.
Driving in and out,
Are we currently unaware of Paul's location? He's currently not on duty.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for coming down. Did you have any ID on him at all?
Yeah, no worries.
Did you have any ID on his purse? Has he got a wallet or anything?
Thirsty on the scene.
Yeah. You know what I mean? A bit of egging them on a bit.
On the scene nearby, there is a body of a suspect, a potential. Currently being dealt with, but I don't know if it's directly related to Paul.
Alright, okay, shots fired at Legion Petrol, mate.
Yeah,
shots at
just round the corner.
Alright, any non-armed units, please get back.
Have you guys?
State 5 to PD.
There's a yellow McLaren.
There's a vehicle leaving the scene. This is this red undertint vehicle leaving petrol.
Yep, received.
Your call, Yorkshire.
Smash the ass.
Yorkshire, how'd you call it?
All them vehicles that has just passed.
Turn away from me, please, mate. Face your vehicle.
Could I get a postal that the ARU is requested at, please?
Why am I getting arrested?
Currently at 753.
That's fine, I know. I'm going to take you out to the road for your safety.
Okay, I'm state 5.
Hey mate, see that blue car there opposite? That blue car there, the one with the end glow, was also coming from the same place. Yeah.
Over there?
The one that's just gone down. Yeah, there was another one and a bigger car as well.
The officers at the scene, can we get a welfare check, please?
Yeah, we're all good.
All good by Zane.
Chief Callum?
Good, he's good.
Received.
But yeah, no, Paul was in that Mercedes behind us, or in front of you. Yeah, no.
Just to confirm. Just to confirm, one in custody with me at the moment has no positive GSR.
Received. I've just done a number plate check on this Mercedes here. It's Paul's car. The Paul was most likely that deceased individual with no ID.
I'm going to stay at 11 for the night.
Do we have any officers who have gone to the Legion petrol station to check out the shots fired specifically?
I am state 5 back to the town.
Callum, you would jump to 91 a second for me?
Yeah.
Have you seen the back of that number plate? It says criminal.
Yeah, it does.
On it. That's a bit weird for Paul's car, isn't it? Not? Is it not?
I mean, it is a bit weird, but I can't really question it. What he's wanted, isn't it?
Can I have some additionals to Legion petrol
Right,
regarding
Louis,
the shots fired?
Louis, the time, mate. It's 1:03.
Yeah, received Archie. I'll just come down the road from the scene.
Take 5.
I'm coming, Archie.
Archie, we're on the scene as well, bud.
We got any transport units available to come to 753?
It's dead on arrival. It's okay at Legion petrol.
4 people.
Thanks for the PD assistance, boys.
I ran. Got 4 people dead.
Yeah, I left without you.
We've also got 4 people dead and 1 civilian dead at the petrol station.
Soldier on
Can you mark the drug ping?
No worries, just impound the vehicle.
Oh no, it just went.
When did Callum get an AR?
Today.
Stage 6 for Legion Petrol.
Legion Petrol is all
State 6
clear.
is leaving, innit?
Oh shit, my bad. Please pull over.
Currently stage 3 for processing. I'll be off con.
Do you know why I pulled you over today, sir?
I can have a guess. I just lost control of the vehicle around the corner down there.
Yeah, you were just Jim cannering your way around that corner there.
I know I nearly hit you, but I didn't realise how icy it was.
Yeah, these roads are pretty unsafe, and it's very important for
any
the
higher ups on radio,
population of
please?
Manchester
Yeah,
to
Paul's
be able
radio.
to
Perfect. Paul, could I
drive nice and safely.
do you want me to come pick you up? Because I need to have a conversation with
Just-
you. I've got
just
someone
because
that's,
of the
I wanna
weather,
make
and
a
also
claim.
obviously
Paul, I can
Louis Devonshire.
Paul, I can answer this one, mate.
My
Yeah,
radio
yeah.
is
I'll deal
one
with Louis,
second.
don't worry.
No, I need to. Well, the complaint's going to be around me around searching
There
him
we
at
go,
the
I can
scene
actually hear
with
now.
shots fired.
Yes,
he
so
tested
essentially,
negative, but I believe
can you just drive safe on
he was
the
still
road,
involved,
okay?
so I searched him.
Yeah, that's totally
Yeah,
fine.
apologies.
So the
Apologies.
complaint's going to be
I didn't
regarding
realise how icy it was.
me
I
searching him.
only just brought out the car park back there.
So I'm
Oh, I see. Yeah, this is a slippy hellhole.
He's
But sir, do you mind if you just step out the vehicle and show me your driving
bars
license?
to
If that's
put
okay with you?
in the jail.
Actually, go in and do it. Just go in
I
behind the
can't
bars.
go into the cells to do it. It's one of them bars where you have to escort them through and out of it. There's no actual door to put you into them ones.
Is he in a... Where
Is there
are you?
another officer there that could
Polito.
escort you into the cell?
Polito.
Yeah, I'm
if he's refusing to do it, it's a bigger issue, so...
I've already raised the ticket. They've advised it's a PD issue. Checks they Grandad in emails advise it's a PD issue, not gov.
If you've if you're not alone, get an officer to escort you into the cell.
I'm there.
Oh,
No, don't
that's-
worry, I'm there.
Step on.
Did you say he was in the
Just step on the
hospital?
bike, your friend.
No, I've been picked up.
He's gone.
I don't know. So is the man on your on this
Can meet
bike?
you
your
at
friend?
PD.
No, I don't know that bloke at all.
Okay.
You okay, sir?
Okay, sir.
You okay there?
Oh yeah, sorry lad. Sorry, I was just...
Who's the officer that's got Louis?
Parked on the wrong side of the road, isn't it?
That would be me, Bobby Moore.
Where is he?
I'm back to PD now. I'm going to be in the car park in about 2 seconds.
You either drive on or park properly, because
Yeah,
you're
no
going to get hit head on here.
Is that better?
I mean, if you're off the road properly, that would be great. Yeah.
Hello, it's nice to see you.
Hello there.
My name is Archie.
My name is Barnaby.
Okay.
And this is
Hello.
Barnaby.
Afternoon,
We
boss.
really could do with seeing your driving license, to be honest, because currently, at least what you've shown me, which is just an ID rather than driving license,
He's got
it
no
isn't
license.
proof.
I've got a license, mate. I just left it at home, mate. You know, you can follow me back home if you want. I'll bring it up.
What we'll do, we'll give you until 11:15. Drive home, get to the PD station, and give it to us.
11:15.
Got 5 minutes to drive home. Then
I'll get it to PD for you, yeah?
5 minutes from now.
They've got your license plate, lad, so there's no point down there.
Otherwise, we'll be coming at you for more than.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. So if I get some milk first.
As long as you can do it in the next
Sure,
5
grab
minutes.
some milk. Milk PD, you got 5 minutes whilst obeying all traffic laws.
That's what I mean, yeah. I'll be as quick as I can.
don't slap. Do you remember his name? Things ID.
Oh yeah, I know exact. I know 100% who that is. It's someone who doesn't come to Manchester often.
Really?
Actually. Used to work for me.
Thank you for your help with that, Paul.
Don't worry.
Anyone know where the change of clothes is at the OPD?
I don't believe there is.
There isn't one. There's only a get on duty and off.
I do not have traffic lights.
Any RIU needing a ride along, or just
You can
PCs?
take him.
You can ride along with me.
Oh fucking hell! Fuck!
Oh,
holy shit!
Received.
What is the odds?
Welfare check on the officer at 755.
Receive, look after yourself, and 755, yeah?
The officer at 755
sure you are.
has just come rolling down the street. There are two officers in an RTC 755. It's a purple BMW.
Purple BMW, right? Check on, check to see who it is.
PD to NHS.
Purple BMW, that may be
We
Archie.
have a unit 2755.
Anyone know why I woke up in hospital?
I believe it is Archie.
I believe
yeah.
last radio communications was you had some wigwam
Do you have
members
gloves
following
on?
you around
Yeah, you
Legion,
Would
and
you
that they
pat
pointed
down?
guns at you, then you went quiet after that.
Oh, right, okay.
Would you
I was going to stay 11 for the night.
To be honest,
Yeah, go and stay at 11 as well, guys. Have a good one.
Fucking hell! As if that fucking happened. Like.
I don't even have gloves, and I'm gonna go patting around without gloves on.
hello?
Oh yeah, that is Archie.
Paul, are you on radio?
I'm speaking to you.
Not much.
York's is asking if you're coming in our vehicle.
Yeah, where are you? I'm at Legion if you'd want to pick me up.
Yeah, we're on our way, mate.
And Barnaby.
Oh god. The two officers in the purple BMW are Archie and Barnaby.
So
We
that's
have NHS en route.
Served.
Would it not be worth getting AA as well so they can help the car?
They are en route.
Ah,
Radio check.
what's
And,
that?
is there any unit free to go to that drug ping that's came up on the map?
Is anyone able to pick me up from PD, either a
Someone's right.
RIU or a PC?
Coming back to PD for you now.
Indeed.
I believe Archie was driving.
Looks like yeah. Oh, apparently I'm waving nothing.
Let me get some cones down.
Could we get a announcement put out by police that the road at 755 and 754 is temporarily closed?
Let's see if I'll do it for you now.
Thank you.
Sir,
Yep.
can I speak to one of his?
Yeah, just give us 2 moments. Ah, here we are.
You can't park there, sir. Oh, well, they're not. Oh, it looks like they're parked.
What's happened here then, mate?
Well, I'm not able to tell you.
No, you never know.
As you can see,
Yeah,
the car
it's
is upside
2021,
down.
you know, it's
Unfortunately,
just different fashion.
fortunately, no idea, but I'm guessing they've hit something and flipped.
I'm going to check out the most recent.
Unfortunately, I'm not medically trained, so I'm not able to tell you if I can find any holes or something. Check.
No, that's fine. I just meant, did you see whether the car flipped twice? Do you know how fast they were going? That kind of thing.
Ah, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have any
We get
information.
more
for you.
units, please, to 713 ASAP.
Unfortunately, yeah, they're. Looks like they haven't made it. I can't see a pulse anywhere. I'll check.
What was the request for 713? Sorry, repeat.
All arms units.
Okay, I'll be state 5.
Yeah, unfortunately, this one's gone with the Angels. I'll check the other one now.
Okay.
Out.
Yeah,
Fly out now.
They've both passed on, mate.
Fly out.
Oh no, one of them's my chief.
Got a red RS6 leaving the scene. Nearest postal 714 doing a right. I believe one of the individuals is a Liam Jones based on voice identification.
Barnaby and
One to the left. Nearest postal 723 and a right at the petrol station.
Barnaby.
Right, so we gotta stick him in a mod back now.
Not Archie.
Following us.
Yeah, there was until we drove past them.
Yeah,
and they
everything's
stopped
fine.
Following.
Just officers had a car crash.
There you are, so you can pick him up now. Do you know how to do that?
Where can you get to us? And we'll just apprehend them. Get to us and stop straight away. All of the jump straight out with guns.
Postal.
866.
Harry returning to base with 2 DOA officers.
I believe Barnaby and Archie have not made it from the RTC.
Thank you for letting us know.
Another side in Manchester.
A unit behind us.
Can units behind split up in a different direction, see if we can find it somewhere?
See if I'll take a left.
Is the vehicle?
Last one to ping is 567.
Do we know the location of the Wigwam house?
Rest in peace, officers.
I don't know the negative. I don't, unfortunately.
Thank you for your service.
Last one to ping was at 567. We're heading there now.
Just a quick one. Can I have a point to point with either Paul or Callum, please?
Yeah, go on 93.
Received.
Ten. 5.
Well, I'm going to check out an ASA if you want to stay, just in case.
Backup going up there.
Yeah, I'm just going to check up there just in case. The last one was around here, and you are able to get on the roofs of the buildings here as well.
Gotta love staying in a bush.
Wanted's up in Polito.
Gotta love staying.
Postal 066.
How does that happen? Oh man, I love the morgue bush. Oh.
066 late.
Spend more time here than.
What's the issue with this car? Do I need to impound it?
Oh, Archie.
If there are any PC or RRU that need to run on MPD,
Is there any free unit that can go pick up souls at PD? Can I get a radio check?
Everyone dead?
loud and clear.
Is there a unit free that can go pick up the souls from PD?
Goodbye, I'm just about to fly out.
Received. One sec, sold. So I'm going to drop an RRU member back off with yourself at PD.
Received.
Latest multiplayer was at 404.
Oh, holy shit. What are we doing here, Archie?
I can remember. Yeah, usually it's, I stink of alcohol as well, but
Yeah, and you usually lost something.
yeah. Is it open?
Oh. I wonder if that guy came twice. Last thing.
We're flying out, guys. Have a good shift. Stay safe.
After yourself.
I wonder if he got us some milk.
Yeah, I wonder if he got some.
I wonder if he's waiting at PD to give us milk. Or show us milk.
I don't know what we've been doing as a police department. We've got up to 200 million in the bank. It was 180 like a couple of weeks ago. I don't know what's happened.
Bribes.
Must be.
Not bribes, sorry, bail. Same but different.
Oh yeah, of course. That guy on the motorbike.
Yakuza pay.
Yeah, the yak guys don't quite like.
Alright, it's your turn to drive.
I can fly out. See this though, I'm gonna go through a red light and use my light.
I can't. I literally have no traffic lights, so.
What's there with you now? I'm going to check out the most
Hey look,
recent
there's my car. What's up?
Oh.
It's yours.
Oh yeah. What's mine doing here?
Yeah, you fixed.
Hey you.
There's one of mine gone. Hey. I believe someone's just crashed above me. Okay. Come on, hit that hydrant.
Yeah.
We just got to the drug ping near Leicester Storage. There's no
Alright,
visible
fine
sight
now.
suspects. We're
Catch-
just going to check
catch
the
boys
surrounding
later.
buildings. Just double check.
No, there was a massive.
Ryan, so you able to go check out the drug ping at postal 815?
En route.
Actually have a plate on it. Does that make it not road legal?
Ooh.
I'm going to stay at 11, guys. Catch you later.
See you.
Safe flight.
Right, time to end there. You can